Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Melissa Loves Orchids. I'm Melissa and I love orchids. So today we're gonna have a kind of potpourri video. I'm out here after school. It is 4:21, so I have just a few minutes to get a couple things done, and I did want to show you some of the plants were pending bloom when I did my blooming video. So I said I need to come out there and show them the ones that didn't quite bloom in time for the blooming video. So I'm gonna do a quick walk around because everybody likes to see blooms. And just in case you thought the other video was long, which kind of was 40 something minutes, this one is gonna be short to the point. Here's the bloom and off we go. So also we're gonna do a little bit of let's see, plant housework, I guess you can say. I have some chores. So the first thing I wanted to do after I show you those blooms, or maybe in between to keep you guys interested, I am going to take my friend Nelson's advice. Look at how big this is. Look. So if you saw the video that we went to Fairchild Tropical Gardens, and we went to the it was like an orchid festival, not the main one but another one. When did we go? Wasn't it May? Now I can't remember when we went, but it was me, it was Nelson, it was the orchid crew, it was Blanca, it was Wendy, it was Roxy, it was Orchid, which is Marley, and I know I'm gonna forget someone, Terry, of course, and Laz. Everybody was there, so it was such a fun time. And I bought this arachnis that is beautiful, and it was basically my height when I bought her. I bought her from Judelis, and now it goes and hits the top of my orchid pergola, so that can't be. And I also heard that when you cut them, they do better, and they, you know, just start blooming and all that stuff. So today I saw Nelson's video of what's in bloom, and he talked about his arachnis, and he basically said don't be afraid. And I know he was talking to me. I took it like he was talking to me. Don't be afraid. I'm not gonna be afraid, Nelson. I'm gonna cut this arachnis soon in front of everybody. Please survive, because I mean the top looks good but the bottom looks scraggly, and I think it's because I need to cut her like they say. So I'm gonna cut her. What else am I gonna do? I'm gonna look around. I got a couple keikis that I want to try to pry off and repot. I also got an orchid, a phalaenopsis, from my coworker, and she didn't know exactly how to repot. So I said, give her to me, send her home with me, and I will repot her, check what's in there, pot her up, and give her right back. I'm going to fertilize, I'm going to clean her up, I'm going to give her the spa treatment and send that phalaenopsis right back. So yeah. Anyways, so let me turn this around so I can show you a bloom that's right in front of me. Look how pretty. So this was actually a Better Grow Bag baby that just bloomed, and now she's blooming again. So beautiful. Look at the markings on the leaves. So you have an idea that there's going to be that beautiful fuchsia color on the lip. And of course this doesn't turn easily because these two mounts, let me go this way. Sorry. These two mounts are now stuck together. Look at what's happening here. So now forever, these two have to be back to back. But I don't have a name for her. I know she was a bag baby, but I don't have a name for her. I have no idea. But look how pretty. And I'm just to show you, look at the labellum. Look how pretty. Yellow. Very, very deep fuchsia. What is this? Nothing. Okay, it's nothing, guys. It's nothing. Don't worry. But look at that flaring. I love that flaring. She just opened. She doesn't have a scent, but she's gorgeous. I put her on a mount. Very, I put some moss, and very easily one zip tie. That's it. The roots went crazy. And when I took her out, she still had some bark. And I said, leave it there. Leave it. Look at the new growth. She is happy. And, you know, they love to be mounted. So why not? Why not mount them? That's how they like to be. So that's bloom number one. What else? Oh, and I got to go back around this way because well, this is pretty. Look at this foul. Look at this foul secondary spike. Pretty, pretty, pretty. But I don't know if I showed you my Mimi Palmer over here in the intensive care unit. Let me go around. Oh, now I'm blocking the light. Now I'm blocking the light. Look at this Mimi Palmer. How pretty. So yeah, she's in the intensive care ward because she had some questionable spots. But she blooms and smells terrific. Very, very, very strong smell. She is from Bangjiang. I have 5 of these. I love them. That's one of my favorite scents. And then, let's see. I wanted to show you that my spotted charm decided to rebloom. This is the color that I really like. When they kind of turn just white and pink, but when they have green like this, I find them so pretty. Look how pretty. And she is in a clay pot. I've had her for about a year. And I thought she got the some kind of fungal thing. I sprayed her, but she's still blooming, and we're gonna keep an eye on her. And if you look behind, look, I have sheaths almost everywhere. Look at Heaven's Gate, guys. Look at Heaven's Gate. Look at this. Heaven's Gate, please don't be a false sheath. Oh no, oh no, I feel it. It's in there. So yeah, this is the one that broke, so she's not looking that great. Hilo Big Shot, but it's okay. I already showed her, so I'm only going to show you things that I hadn't shown you before because they weren't finished blooming. So here we go. Here is the Bandazina. So guys, if you want a very, very, very strong fragranced beautiful Vanda, you can go to Bangjiang and get a Vandazina. Delicious, Zena. There's a Golden to Bloom behind, and the Ben fragrance, the famous Ben fragrance. We almost caught my Lucinieri, but you're gonna have to wait for that. You're gonna have to wait for that. That one's coming up. And quickly, oh, this one is changing color, so might as well show her one more time. Has a very long name. I put it in one of the comments. Somebody asked me. Violetta again. And I think that is it. My Dendrobium and Nobi Splash is still working on her blooms. Still working on this beautiful waterfall of flowers, 4 spikes. And I sprayed everything, guys. The last time I made a sad video, it was because a lot of my flowers were showing fungus, were showing, you know, all the stuff that orchids get. But I sprayed and I see no more signs of thrips. Look at this beauty. This is the Dendrobium Airy New Normal. This is spectacular. If I would have known, and very economically priced too. If I would have known that this was so beautiful, I would have bought like 4 and put them together. That bloom show would have been spectacular. This is from Mr. C at Sierra Madre down in Homestead. Yep, but a couple of other vendors had it too, so beautiful. This one is my Crazy Roots, okay, Banana Royal Lemonade. It's from RF. Everything I buy at RF seems to do well. It's a compote. There's 2 of them, and they're just starting to bloom. Look at how pretty. Look at how pretty. So I don't know if it's going to change color because some of them have some spots, but they're so pretty. It reminds me of the Burana green, but you can't ignore that labellum. Look at that. Gorgeous. I know you saw the Tango Fire, but she is completely open now. Wayanera Tango Fire. And this one was in bud from RF. Suxamaran Sunlight Crown Fox. Look how pretty. And she's a smaller size, so if you don't have that much room and you need a smaller Vanda, that one is a constant bloomer. Look at that beautiful tangerine color. And of course my Tony Tan, Pereira Bangkok Tony Tan. Bye baby, look at that, gorgeous. And I have buds on my other Pereira Bangkok, so I'm really excited about that. I wanted to mention also my Schomburgkia Memoria Louise Fuchs has grown this whole new growth. Working on this one. This is a monster with monster roots. I can't wait for her to rebloom. I'm excited for that. And I'll leave you with this. Look at how beautiful. Look at these beautiful peachy pastel colors, also from Bangjong. I showed her before. So this is our orchid in question. I'm gonna do that to block so it doesn't get direct light. Could you imagine? I take her home to care for her and she gets sunburn. So I'm gonna take her out of here. Let's see what we got. Hi there. So I hope you get a good view. I'm gonna do this fairly quickly. Get rid of that. All right, so this is one of those regular grocery store phalaenopsis that you can get pretty much anywhere. Oh, look what I found. All right, so that was what I was afraid of. And she seemed really tight in here. So the owner wanted me to repot and see if the roots are doing good. Look at what I see so far. I see awesome green roots, but I also see some that are looking like they're not doing so good, and it's looking kind of wet at the bottom. I hope you can see. So I'm gonna gently squeeze the pot a little bit to loosen them up without breaking them. Look at how the top of the roots are extremely dry. Let's see if she comes out. Yes. So this is different. Look at the size of bark. This is different. I have rarely seen little tiny chunks of bark that are for seedlings. That is different. And look at what I see here. So I am glad that we got in here. We have good roots and we have some mushy roots. So plan is get that hose over here. I thought it was here. See, this happens sometimes when there is not a consistent watering. Sometimes you water on one side and you don't really get to the whole get to all of the roots. Obviously the air roots are dry. The roots at the bottom are falling off. They are mushy, they are desiccated. So I am going to get the but there's a lot of good roots, so this is not a plant that I think is not going to survive. I think she will survive, but and even though this looks like good bark, it is falling apart. See that? So that's what happens to the bark. It falls apart. Let me get you the hose. Well, let me get me the hose and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let me make sure it is recording. So guys, I was watching another YouTuber who just came on the scene with a lot of good information. And he mentioned, oh, wait a minute, I gotta stop. So what do I see? Look at this, the plug. Oh no, this spongy material can be a killer. Look, the roots are almost white in the middle. So you have the bark. So basically what they did was, this plant was small and then they basically left the plug and they up potted her, adding just bark around there. And so sometimes if you don't see the plug, what you see is moss. And usually that's not a good sign, but I'm telling you, I see a lot of good roots. I think that the owner of this orchid took care of her as best she could. Sometimes, you know, honestly, I don't think people give themselves enough credit for just doing what seems to be common sense. Sometimes you're told, water her once a week, water her a shot glass full, water her you know, 3 tables. I've even heard that. Water the orchid 3 tablespoons and no more, or she will die. Guys, don't believe everything you hear. You know, sometimes going with your gut. Look at this mess. I am going to have to I'm gonna have to do a huge cleanup right now. So go with your gut. Sometimes don't be afraid, okay? So all I did was take her out. She came in this and this. So usually that's what you're gonna find. You're gonna find this, you're gonna find it like that. And then some people water it without taking it out, and then it gets waterlogged. Now luckily this has a little cone, which a lot of the pots from the orchid supply store comes with that cone. So you can feel free to visit them if you want that extra protection. Look at that cone inside. Look at that cone. So that extra protection, so you don't have root rot, just in case. Sometimes you water, you don't have time to wait. There's also this kind. See, a little bigger, a lot of holes, a lot of aeration, and little cone. I love the little cone. Little cone is very helpful because we're human and sometimes we think all the water is gone, but there still is water dripping down, and you end up with water at the bottom of your pot, and that is horrible. So let me clean this up because I cannot look at it any longer. I know you can't either, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, we are back. So what's happening with the orchid? Take a close look at the roots. So a lot of them have the little pieces of bark stuck to them. I'm not going to pry all of the little pieces of bark off. It might damage a root, and it's not worth it. It has a humongous root system that needs to have, and new roots coming. Look at that, new roots coming. So what I want to do is I want to find a pot that would fit her. Oh my gosh, it might need one of these big pots. Look at that. That looks like the pot for her. So the other thing I wanted to mention, because a lot of people from work that are not orchid people per se ask me, what do you do with the spike? Okay, so here's the thing. Here's my take on spikes. Take it or leave it. I hope you like my advice. If you don't, you can leave it. So basically, what I learned about spikes is that if you have, first of all, it's your choice. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. It's your choice. It's your orchid. Okay, it's your choice, but you have to take into consideration the health of your orchid. So this one, I'll give you an idea what I want to do. Well, first of all, she didn't care to leave the spike. She didn't, you know, whatever. She didn't have any preference to or not. But it has 2 spikes. This one is completely dried off, so I already disinfected my shears. And this one that's already dried is gone. It doesn't even need to be sealed with anything because it is completely dry. So it's gonna do nothing. The plant already had to like reabsorb it, use energy to reabsorb it and all that. This one is still green. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave it on. It has a node here, a node here. I was gonna cut off, but I'm gonna leave it on because the only reason that I would take it off is if I saw that the roots were in danger of rotting or anything. But most of the roots are really, really, really good. And it doesn't seem like I am gonna be cutting much, you know. There's one here that's mushy. Okay, that's one. There's another one. Basically not even a handful I have to take off. The rest are pretty good. Here's one. So sometimes it's sad because it's mushy in a point and then the rest of it looks good, and then when you actually cut it you're like, oh, that was attached to a lot. So just a couple that I had to cut off. That's it. The rest are looking pretty good. I'm gonna need a big pot. But if you want to cut your spike off because you want to let the plant use the energy to grow more roots, grow a new leaf, or just rest, it's up to you. That's what will happen if you cut down the spike. Now, what will happen if you leave the spike? Well, first of all, you have to know that if it's already brown and dry, it's done. It's done. It's not going to grow anymore. It's not going to turn green. If it's dried up, it's done. Now, some, their plan of action is to work on putting energy to dry up the spike. Some of them will do that and it'll expend energy. If you see that it starts yellowing, my opinion is get rid of it. Get rid of it. You're letting your plant put energy into making this dry off. Why would you do that? I don't know. Some people like to leave it on to see if there's a secondary spike, a secondary bloom from this same spike. That could happen. It could branch out from here. It has nodes that have not been emptied yet. They have not been used. So that could happen. Some people count 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes. I don't think it really matters. I have learned that if it has 2 spikes, don't leave them both on the same size. The plant cannot expend energy for reblooming both. Cut one down and you have more chances of the other one secondary blooming. That's what I heard. So I really like that it has new roots. This one is kind of weird. If you can see, this root is coming right over that leaf. Very strange, but it's okay. So when I finish cutting all the dead mushy roots, I plan to disinfect. So I have Physan and I am gonna spray it with Physan. So, and if there's a big wound, which it's not gonna have, but if there was, I would put some cinnamon on it. But it doesn't. Look at these awesome roots. Oh my goodness. The roots are looking good. It's just a little haircut, guys. Just a little haircut. That's it. So now the next step, I am going to pot her up. And I told you it was going to be quick. So you know how to pot up. You just put the bark in there. That's it. I'm not going to go through long step-by-step tutorial. I think I have found, let's see, the pot of choice. It has a lot of room. It has a lot of room. So let me see if I find one a little bit smaller. Okay, and I'm not going to take you all through it because this is not the, the long video, long tutorial. I'm going to find a little bit smaller pot. I'm going to put the bark in. So what am I going to use in this? The owner is careful with watering. So I don't think she needs entirely lava rock. Okay, she can use bark. So I'm probably gonna put a little bit lava rock at the bottom. I'm gonna have the mix that has perlite as well and charcoal. That's it. Okay guys, so I found the perfect pot. It wasn't this big one. This is too big. It's smaller, but you could see it has about an inch. It has about an inch around to grow. It has definitely enough roots that it calls for a bigger pot. So she came from this and she's stepping it up. Okay, normally I would just go a little bit bigger than this, but the roots are incredible. The plant is growing really big. Look at these new leaves. So I'm gonna add what I told you, some lava rock, some charcoal, and the mix, and show you what we got. That's it. There you have it. So there she is in her brand new pot from the Orchid Supply Store. I added this stake just for stability. Okay, I'm really not expecting anything with this, but I left it there so that I can make sure that this stays stable. Look at the lovely green roots that have a new home, and the owner can look through and see when it's time to water. So I'll give her a little tutorial on when to water. And that's about it. I think she looks great. I wiped down the leaves because they were a little dusty. And that's it. Make sure she's dry, and back to the owner she goes tomorrow. So the time has come. We are going to cut the arachnis and let's see how it goes. I just watered my vandas, or I am watering my vandas. I'm multitasking, continuing with the video, watering the vandas. I just did a repot. I have indoor cycling class to teach in a little while, and homework to do with the kids, and dinner to prepare. So pretty busy, but it's okay. The more you do, the more you can do, right? Okay, here goes nothing. Here's my arachnis, and I have one stem, I guess, it's already not doing well. So I'm going to skip that one, and I am going to get the tallest one. Do I do it? Do I do it? Yes. Oh my gosh. Of course I disinfected my shears. I hear some of you saying, did she? Yes, I did. Okay, let me get the tallest one. Oh my gosh, it's so strong. Oh my gosh, I can't do it. Yes, I did it. I did it. I did it. Look how good she looks. Look how many. Yes. So I was told, just put her back, kind of like settle her in here and tie her to the mesh and keep on going. So I think I would have brought something to tie her. Hold on. Don't fall. Okay, I got some of this horticultural Velcro so I can secure her. Gotta stick those roots somewhere. Those roots are crazy. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Oh my gosh, maybe turn her this way. It's not the easiest thing to do, guys, but I guess I can't say it's that hard. Cut, stack, and tie. That first piece looks good. So I'm gonna do it one more time. This one's still growing. This one's really tall, so I'm gonna do it one more time. There's the piece. Okay. The second time you do it, you feel better about it. Big, awesome roots. Little piece of Velcro. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do because the rest are not tall enough. I think the rest are not tall enough to need to be cut. They're fine. They are fine. I'm going to try to coerce the roots to go in there and tie her to the side. Okay. She looks good. And so I still need this one to grow, this one to grow, and maybe, like my friends say, now that will make her bloom. So let me show you. Let me turn around and show you up close. So remember what she looked like before? She actually passed my Violetta. I mean, that's my what is it? Starfall. Mold starfall. She passed and was hitting the roof. So now she just looks thicker, and we're gonna watch and see what happens. But I think that was a really, really good choice. All right, dun, 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 dun. This was going to be my next adventure. I was going to separate this keiki because I already decided this one has to stay on, because if you look, that's not a root, that is a spike. So she is actually taking energy from the mom, and she is gonna spike. This one also did a nice little bloom show, but I am gonna let this one go. I'm gonna separate. Look at those huge scraggly roots. Yeah, she can go off on her own. She is ready to explore the world. So we are going to take those shears that I already hit with the, I keep calling it the creme brulee torch. And I can't do it if I don't have my stand. Hold on, let's see what I can do. Okay guys, so I have a camera girl. I hope you've met her before. Her name is Layla. I hope she holds it steady. So Layla, look at what we're gonna do. This is a keiki. For those of you new or new to my channel. Oh, by the way, I want to shout out to my new class, my new 4th grade class. Hi boys and girls. So if you're watching, this is what your teacher loves to do. She loves to play around with orchids. So now what I'm doing, this is called the keiki. Keiki is the Hawaiian word for baby plants, baby orchids. So I know my hands are dirty. So basically, I've heard some people say keiki. I say keiki. Why? Because the Hawaiians say keiki, so I trust them. That's their word. So I'm going to cut. I am not going to rip her off. Okay, can you see what I'm showing?
Yes.
I'm not going to rip her off. I am just going to cut the old stem, because that's where she came from. She came from an old stem. So ready? You're gonna count to 3? 1,
1, 2, 3.
Woo! And there she is. There is the baby. So what am I gonna do? These roots are a little tough.
Mom, I know what to do.
What?
You can put it in another cup.
In another pot. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to soften up these roots. Can you see it?
Yes.
I'm gonna try to soften up these roots, and repot her into a pot.
Mom, it's a little bit dark because
fuzzy. How about there? Okay, because the light's in the back. Okay, thank you so much, camera girl. Bye.
I did it.
So the next one I was gonna do came from here. If you can look at these are all the roots, but unfortunately, guys, look, this one is too tiny, number one. This one is pretty big, but she is the one producing this bloom. So I don't want to rip her off now. And this one is producing this bloom. So this one's gonna have to wait a little bit because she's not ready. I mean, she's in full bloom and it would be not very nice for me to rip her apart now. So I have my keiki and I might need to soak her for a little bit before I can get these roots pliable enough to want to go in a pot, because right now I don't have a pot that is 12 inches wide and 2 inches deep. That's not what I have. I have a lot of pots, but not one that'll conform to these crazy roots. So I'm gonna put her in the water and come back to her later. All right, guys, so the water has softened up the roots and I am gonna try a new combination today. And we're gonna follow this keiki on her journey to growing up into a teenager, because right now she's really young. So the super moss from the Orchid Supply store, okay? And I'm gonna mix that up with tree fern. I have not used tree fern before, but Ken sent it and I am going to try it now. Let's see how it goes. I am going to layer some of this moss that I have been soaking for a little bit. I'm gonna layer it with the tree fern and see how it goes. That's it, guys. We are done for today. Here is my new keiki potted up. Look carefully. You're gonna see tree fern, that's what it looks like, and the new super moss that I'm starting to really like. A beautiful pot, and we are gonna, oh, look at that little root tip coming out already. Look at that. So it's light and airy, but it's going to retain moisture, and hopefully my little orchid keiki does well. That's all for me today. I want to thank you for joining me. I'll leave you with the sight of this beautiful dendrobium Zekia Lynn and a pool that I wish I could jump into right now. I know that I'm not looking awesome. It is so hot. It's 98 right now here in Miami, and I want you guys to go out, do something that puts you in touch with nature. If my students are watching, hi guys, I'll see you tomorrow at school, and remember, make time for the things that you love. Bye guys.